Hey, Lito Lolo coming back down to earth here, and let's take a stroll down memory lane, shall we? The year is 2018, one of the worst years to go viral in my opinion. I mean, if we take a look at the track list here, we have Rice Gum, Fortnite was just getting started, and Fuzi 2 was on a downward spiral, but I mean, what's new? And among these viral atrocities was a little 9-year-old girl named Lil Tay who claimed that she made more than my mother's rent, which, okay, while hurtful,
and I'd be holding your mama's rent.
And her entire persona was just basically her flaunting her wealth on camera, and that's it. There was really nothing else to it. I mean, apparently she was a Harvard dropout, so her and Lil Pump have something in common there.
Ooh, for sure. You play Call of Duty?
Now, 2018 was a year where reality TV met the internet, where these two collided and created these fake beefs among these assortment of characters. It was like a Smash Bros roster with D-tier internet celebrities. One of these fake beefs was with like the Catch Me Outside girl, Bad Baby, who was relatively still building her career at the time. I don't believe she had her OnlyFans, who was beefing with Lil Tay, who was a 9-year-old little girl.
Fuck Bad Baby, she a bitch.
So they would do this to kind of like farm clicks and views, which in all honesty they actually kind of did. Now eventually it was revealed that this Lil Tay persona that this little 9-year-old girl was doing was fake all along. Who would have thought?
Your mama thought and your auntie ugly as
And her big brother, who wanted to be an internet sensation but failed, was behind it all along and was living vicariously through her. Now, a little girl who seemed obnoxious and annoying was actually just being taken advantage of, and we saw a side to her that we can actually sympathize with, because at the end of the day, she was just a little girl. Now, at some point, her Instagram account that reached 3.4 million followers, by the way, that is mind-blowing, because this was before the TikTok days. It was a little bit more difficult to become viral at that time, and a 9-year-old girl succeeded in doing so, which is freaking crazy. I went on a tangent. Anyways, her Instagram got deactivated, and when everybody needed her most, the Harvard dropout vanished. Now, throughout the years, there were speculations that her father was very abusive to Lil Tay, where her brother posted, "My sister Tay has been silent on social media for the past 3 years because her absentee father served my mother a court order demanding control over Tay's money, career, and custody. As a result, it was court ordered that my sister had to return to Vancouver, Canada. He also requested through a court order to prevent her from speaking out about the truth. Since then, he has stolen millions of dollars from my sister and has taken control of all her funds." Now, trigger warning, here are some photos of the abuse that her brother is speaking about. I'm gonna put allegedly here because I'm not entirely sure if this is true, and I don't want to push out false information. Now, they were allegedly in a custody battle where her brother had set a GoFundMe for her in which they raised $4K, but a lot of people question the validity of this entire situation, and rightfully so, because they built their career off of lies and deception. So it was kind of hard to tell whether this was the truth or whether it was fraudulent. Now, the entire Tay family went radio silent after this, until yesterday, where a post appeared on her Instagram stating, "It is with a heavy heart that we share the devastating news of our beloved Claire's sudden and tragic passing. We have no words to express the unbearable loss and indescribable pain. This outcome was entirely unexpected and has left all of us in shock. Her brother's passing adds an even more unimaginable depth to our grief. During this time of immense sorrow, we kindly ask for privacy as we grieve this overwhelming loss, as the circumstances surrounding Claire and her brother's passing are still under investigation." Now, when I first saw this on Twitter, I started to reminisce on the 2018 days, and although I made jokes about it in my earlier introduction, it was honestly an interesting time. It was different, you know, and Lil Tay definitely made that time frame a lot more special and memorable. I mean, she was an internet icon at only 9 years old. She'd even hit double digits at that point. So what could have happened to her? As we get further down the rabbit hole, it just gets more complex and confusing. And it's like trying to understand the fourth dimension, because then her manager sent out a statement that said that he cannot confirm nor deny the legitimacy of this information, just making everything that more confusing. Who would lie about the death of a person, just for clout? Who would stoop that low? And if we look even further into the depths of the mystery, the Vancouver police have no records of her nor her brother's death, completely disregarding the Instagram post, because if you look, it says under investigation. So what is going on here? Now this post, which I'm not aware of the authenticity of it, is apparently Lil Tay's brother speaking through an alt account stating, "To be clear, I am not dead. I don't have access to the Lil Tay Instagram account." And, going in that they were about to win the custody battle and their parents wanted them away from the internet. I am bamboozled. Not even the greatest detective can solve this case. Like, where's L from Death Note when you need him, Because this isn't an occurrence that has just happened recently. It's been a 5-year disappearance. So for him to say that he hasn't had access to the account, like, yes, we know you haven't had access to the account for what seems to be 5 years at this point, So why couldn't you make that known 5 years ago, or 2019, or something? Unless this has something to do with the legality of the case, where since she's still a minor, was put under strict regulations by her father, where she was prevented from going on the internet whatsoever. But he's 21, so he had the ability to provide us with information within the last 3 years, from 2020, since the whole GoFundMe setup was happening. So he could have at least provided us with something within those years, at least constant updates. I don't know. Now, Keemstar came to his own conclusions, and I know Keemstar is not a very good source when it comes to information, but when your back is against the wall, you're willing to take anything from anywhere. Where he said that this was all a scam to promote a Bitcoin, and if we look at the information here, it was established today, weirdly enough. Now, I don't know what any of this means, if I'm going to be honest, but I'll just leave it here. And now today, apparently, Lil Tay tells TMZ that she is alive and that her Instagram got hacked. So what the fuck is going on here? We really need to hire the Scooby-Doo mystery gang to solve this fucking case. Who would lie about the death of a little girl? Why in her TMZ message did she speak like an English professor or somebody typing out a well-articulated cover letter for their resume? What is the meaning of life? All of these questions need to be answered, or it is the end of humanity as we know it. Anyways, that's all for me. I'm off to another dimension. See ya.